What's up, degenerates? Mad Murrigan here. As promised, every Tuesday we will have our good friend Nigel Seeley on to have a look at the Euros with us. How's things, Nigel?
Yeah, good, Paddy. A bit unlucky, I felt, in the first set of fixtures. I mean, what happened in the Denmark game was something to be not, it was a terrible thing to see. Really unlucky, I felt, in the Italy game. We had draw half-time in Italy to win 2-0. The Turks just fell apart. And on a positive note, Lukaku, our tip to score, got the goal, the first goal in the game against Russia. And he's also our tip to be the top goal scorer in the tournament. He was 8-1 to do that. And he's now down to 5-2 after getting 2 goals. Looking very good with some easy games coming up. So all to play for, but a bit frustrating the first set of matches.
Yeah, well, I think there was a lot of positives to take out of it as I look back. I really thought we were on for the touch with Italy when we got the draw the first half up, and then to be 2-0 up, it was nail-biting stuff. But anyway, I'm sure the degenerates got a sweat. A couple of the lads then sent me on a picture of a docket. I won't disclose the numbers or the figures, but somebody took notice and had a right little bet on Lukaku to score first and Belgium to win. So they were pretty happy. They backed 2 of the horses that won that day, and they let it roll on to that bet. So they're pretty sweet. They're sitting pretty happy at the minute. So look, as we look back, was there any teams then that maybe you want to take out of the first week or leave behind as the tournament progresses?
I think the best scene that we've seen so far was Italy. I thought they were absolutely brilliant against Turkey. I mean, Mancini got a performance out of his side. I don't know whether they raised their game because of the atmosphere in the stadium, obviously with 𝗏𝗏 being played. The passion around the stadium must have been phenomenal. And the only thing I would say, they've been slashed in, some bookmakers slashed them to 5-1 to win the tournament after that. I thought Turkey were abysmal. I mean, the way they played in the second half, they thought the own goal was a terrible own goal to give away, but their second half performance was really bad. But I think the team to take out of the first set of fixtures, we haven't seen France or Germany play yet. Obviously, France are my tip, or Portugal. But the team, from what we've seen so far, I think that Italy are the best side in the tournament from what we've seen on just one set of fixtures.
Yeah, it was a pretty tasty win, in fairness. Albeit, like there was a lot of quality. I got to see some of the goals. I didn't get to watch the whole match, so I can't just speak on Turkey's behalf. But anyway, before then we wrap up and leave round 1 behind, just a quick word on Eriksen there, Nigel. I know it was pretty sad, and thank God that I think he is stabilised now as well.
Yeah, I think that really, I'm amazed that the game went on in the second half. I don't know what frame of mind the Denmark players were in, and you saw for their performance, obviously we bet Denmark to win 2-0. I thought we were going to win that bet, and obviously we saw that tragedy happen. But obviously, betting was secondary in the second half, just making sure that the guy was all right. And so, yeah, good recovery. But again, it adds a little bit of a frustration on the first set of fixtures. Just so near, but just, but like I say, this is only first round. We've got lots more football to come. We'll get the winners.
Absolutely, yeah. So look, as I said, from everyone at Coldbeer Sports, of course, we are delighted Christian Eriksen is stabilised and hopefully makes a full recovery. Right, let's then touch quickly on today's matches. We have Hungary versus Portugal. Portugal long odds on, and then we have a big one for me, France versus Germany. This will set the tone, I feel, Nigel, to how the rest of the tournament and who is, the real leaders in this. I think if someone can make a statement in the big game today, I feel like they'll probably be the short price favourites.
Yeah, we'll start off with the early kickoff, Hungary against Portugal in Budapest. Every team that has had home advantage, the Italians in Italy, England at Wembley, Denmark in Copenhagen, they've all been very, very, very heavily supported in the betting market. And Hungary, playing in Budapest, I know they're not a great Hungarian side. Their best player, who got them in qualification, doesn't play. He's out for the tournament. But it's the only stadium so far that's going to be at full capacity. There's going to be 67,000 fans in attendance this afternoon. So that's going to help Hungary. I don't think Portugal will win easy. I think there'll be a few goals in this game, surprisingly. I'd probably go for a small bet over 2.5 goals. And maybe Portugal to win and both teams to score. I think Portugal may win it 2-1, 3-1, but I do think that Hungary won't be the pushover that many expecting because of their home advantage in a stadium that is absolutely jam-packed tonight. In the big game, France against Germany, very difficult to call. Obviously, Germany playing in Munich. Their home form is pretty decent. They draw an awful lot of games. I think France are the better bet to progress. So when you look at the tournament as a whole, I think France are worthy favourites. But Germany are the favourites to win the group because they play all 3 of their games in Munich. One thing I would say from this match is probably my best bet of the day is there's been 10 games in this European Championship so far, and 7 of them have been drawing at half-time. Very cagey first halves. Everything comes out in the second half. You can bet the draw at half-time in this match at 11-10. I think that's the best bet of the day. The draw, France, advancing Germany, draw at half-time.
Nice. And then we'll swiftly move on, so because we have a lot of games to cover. So let's just touch on Wednesday. We have the early game, Finland versus Russia, Turkey versus Wales, and then Italy, who were so impressive the first day, versus Switzerland. I'll just give you a couple of the prices. Russia, very short, 8-13. Turkey then as well, I think 13-10 versus Wales, 9-4. And then Italy, 8-15 versus Switzerland, 5-1. Anything around them 3 matches involved, or are you interested at all?
Finland Russia looks like a very low scoring match. A draw is a brilliant result for Finland because it means that they'll qualify. 4 points will get them through. And that's what they're set out to do. They're set out to defend. I thought they scored a goal against Denmark, but it was a bad error from Kasper Schmeichel. I don't think they have many chances. That game there has got low goals. I mean, under 2.5, under 1.5. I think 1 goal will be enough to win that Finland-Russia game. But I agree with you. Russia are extremely short in the betting, but they are playing in St. Petersburg. That's why there is the money for that. Turkey against Wales. Now, this is an interesting one. This is in Baku, which is very close to the Turkish border. It's going to be a lot of Turks over there. And one thing about Baku, it's going to be very, very hot. It's probably the hottest venue in Europe in this competition. And I think that the Turks have a huge advantage in the heat, as well as being, in the crowd. There's going to be a lot of Turkish supporters there. I know they've travelled back from Rome to Baku, whereas Wales have been settled in Baku. But I thought Wales were really average against Switzerland. And I really like Turkey in this match. I think they have to win. They have to go out and win because they're so poor in the first game. Their goal difference is -3. They've got to get something from it. And I think they will beat Wales. And I think you can bet them at 7-5, which is a big price. I mean, I think that's a big price. If you remember, Switzerland started even money against Wales in their game. And Turkey are better than Switzerland. You can get 7-5. I think the market has looked far too much into their performance against Italy. But I think Italy were brilliant, and you won't see the Turks have another performance like that. Finally, Italy against Switzerland. I think Italy will win. I think there's a no-brainer. Italy will win. I think Italy will win to 0, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. I can't see Switzerland scoring. They're very strong defensively, and they don't concede. So they're my 3 picks. My best bet would probably, I've got to go for 2. I'm going to go for Turkey to beat Wales at 7-5, and I'm going to go for Italy to win to 0 against Switzerland.
Lovely, very interesting stuff. Yeah, Turkey v Wales, definitely interesting, and one I'll have a little bet on, no doubt. Right, Ukraine versus North Macedonia then on Thursday. Denmark v Belgium, and we have Netherlands v Austria. Let's just touch on the Netherlands, 1-2 favourite. Belgium even money, Denmark 3-1, Ukraine now 8-13, and North Macedonia 5-1. Anything around the matches on Thursday that you have any bit of value, or any maybe a cheeky bet somewhere that is a little bit out of the norm?
Well, I think Ukraine were very unlucky against Holland. They fought back 2-2 and then let Golden to lose the game 3-2. It was the most entertaining game of the tournament so far. It's a very young side, a very attack-minded side. So I think Ukraine will go out to impress. They've got to win it, and I think they'll beat North Macedonia in a game that I think will feature a lot of goals. I think over 2.5, maybe even over 3.5 goals. It's going to be that entertaining. Denmark-Belgium is interesting. Obviously, Eriksen doesn't play. How mentally up for them this game will Denmark be? The one thing is the whole world will want Denmark to get something from this match. Everyone's second favourite side at the moment. I'm going to go for a draw in that game. You can bet the draw at 23-10. I think the draw will suit Belgium. Belgium will be happy with the draw. They've got 4 points. They get through, and then their final game they play Finland, and Finland they could probably put 3 past them. But I think that Denmark will come back with some kind of performance. And I'm not saying that Belgium will go easy on them, but there's a lot of, a draw isn't a bad result for everybody. If Denmark draw, then all they've got to do is beat Russia in the final game to go through. Russia could have 2 losses with nothing to play for. Denmark needs something from this match. I'm going to go for a draw in that game. And Netherlands, Austria, again, I think Netherlands are going to be a very attack-minded, very entertaining side to watch. And Austria are probably the worst team I've seen in it. So what I saw, I fancy goals. I think Netherlands will win, but again, I think both teams will score and over 2.5 goals. But my best bet, I'm going to go for a little obscure one. I'm going to go for a draw, Denmark-Belgium. I just feel that it will suit, and I think Denmark. Nobody wants to see Denmark go home. Everyone wants Denmark to stay in the competition after what's happened to them, and I think they may get a draw against Belgium.
Yeah, interesting. So swiftly, we'll move on to Friday. We have Sweden 4-5, Slovakia 15-4, Croatia versus Czech Republic 11-10, 5-2, England versus Scotland. Yes, long. I think they're 2-7, a crazy short price or whatever. Scotland 9-1. I thought Scotland the last day they had their chances as well. I know the scoreline reflects 2-0, but I think Scotland were maybe not as wide as that. You know, definitely were a little closer than the 2-0 scoreline.
You don't get anything in any walk of life for being unlucky, Paddy. Do you? You've got to take chances, and I think Scotland will be out their depth against England. I really do. I don't think it'll be massively one-sided. I think England will do a professional job, 1-0, 2-0. But Scotland don't offer a goal-scoring threat. And the other big thing for Scotland is they didn't have their best player. Tierney, the defender at Arsenal, who I think is their best player. Without him, they didn't really. It wasn't the same. You're not going to score against England, I don't feel. I think England will probably win 2-0, 1-0, 2-0. Is the way I'll go. Croatia, Czech Republic. It's a huge game for Croatia. They've got to get something from it. Czech Republic, they get a win and they're through. Again, it's a tough one to call. Sweden, Slovakia. Sweden probably look a little bit of value at 10-11. But I probably wouldn't touch it. I just think the best bet in that game, I'm going to do a couple of correct scores. England 1-0, England 2-0. England get through to the knockout stages, and Scotland, unfortunately, look like they're going home again.
There's a lot of people in Scotland will be still believing, dreaming, achieving, and all that stuff. But anyway, let's swiftly move on then to Saturday. We have Hungary versus France, Portugal versus Germany, another interesting match, and Spain versus Poland, who were pretty, lackluster. I thought the first time.
Just one thing for the Scottish bettors, punters out there. William Hill are offering 5,000 to 1 Elvis Presley still alive. If you want to have a bet on that as well. That's the kind of.
I don't know. If I see a guy eating a Kit Kat.
On a Saturday, Hungary against. This is quite difficult to really have a bet on these games, Paddy, because we haven't seen Hungary or.
Listen, if it's possible to have you on Friday, I will. Again.
Yeah, I think Hungary, France is going to be quite difficult to call because we don't know the state of the group. Portugal, Germany, again, it's very hard. My first impression for Portugal, Germany would be go for a draw. But again, we need to see how the group hands out. With regards to Spain against Poland, Poland were dreadful against Slovakia, dreadful. And Spain, with all their possession, couldn't score against Sweden. They've both got to go for this. They've both got to open up. They've both got to score goals. The one thing in Spain's advantage, they play in Seville, and it's going to be extremely, extremely hot on Saturday, very humid. And I don't think Poland will have the legs in the latter stages. So I can see Spain being a draw at half-time, Spain winning full-time, which enhances your betting rather than taking 1-3 about Spain winning the game. Yeah. But at the moment, I'll come back on Friday, but at the moment, Hungary, France, Portugal, Germany, I think it's very difficult to have an opinion until we saw how both sides played this evening.
Yeah, no, that definitely suits us, and especially the degenerates at the channel. As I know, there's so much to happen in between, and there's just a lot of games to cover. It is, it's not easy, but like I said, hopefully we can get the right bet on a couple, and that's all we're after, is a small bit of value. So Nigel, to wrap up what we have talked about, what are you liking then this week? Give us your top 3 bets of the second round games then.
I'll give you a bet of the day for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So my bet of today tonight is France-Germany to be a draw at half-time, 11-10. 7 of the 10 matches so far in the tournament have been a draw at half-time. Odds against 11-10. I like that. On Wednesday, there's 2 I like. I like Italy to win 2-0, but I'm going to probably go for Turkey to beat Wales. Baku is going to be very, very hot. The conditions aren't going to suit. Wales were very poor against Switzerland. I thought they only played well for about 10 minutes spell, but they would have clearly the second best. When they played Switzerland, Switzerland were even money to beat Wales. and so you can get Turkey at 7-5. And Turkey, for me, are a better side than Switzerland. So Turkey to beat Wales. And on Thursday, I'm going to go for Denmark against Belgium to be a draw. I just feel that nobody in the competition wants Denmark to go home under the circumstances they're involved in. I think Belgium may not be completely at the 100% sort of commitment for this game. I think a draw suits both sides. A draw will get Belgium through. A draw will give Denmark some kind of chance. I'm going to go for a draw in Denmark against Belgium.
Lovely. Right. Let's hope. I'll have a look into that, and I'm sure the degenerates will be on as well. As always, we appreciate you coming on here, Nigel, giving your expertise, and hopefully we can get a couple of winners again this week and join us again. So, lads, Friday again to hear the weekend selections, a couple of big games as well. Right. Thanks, Nigel. The time for Cotton is over.